if I were president, and I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours. I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. I would get that ended in a period of 24.
You can break that deal.
100%. It would be easy. That deal would be easy. A lot of it has to do with the money. A lot of it has to do with the military, that we're giving. But I would get that deal done within 24 hours. That war has to be stopped. That war is a disaster.
That previous clip was what Donald Trump promised before his election. But this article, written on August the 6th of 2025, states that Russian attacks on Ukraine doubled since Trump inauguration. This is written by BBC. It says Russia has more than doubled the number of drones and missiles fired towards Ukraine since President Trump returned to the White House in January. A BBC Verify analysis has found, despite his calls for a ceasefire. Do you see what's going on? Both sides will lie to you. I'm trying to reach the MAGA diehard Trump supporters here who can't seem to verify in their own minds how you've been lied to and had. This is just one example. I've got some more. Until you see how the elites control both sides, you won't understand how they've used the whole Democrat-Republican system for us to argue with each other.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago.
To switch to Kennedy.
They do that for danger, too, because, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera.
Like him.
So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But, yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Trump losing his cool over Epstein. When asked about CNN's reporting that Vice President J.D. Vance was planning to hold a strategy session tonight on Jeffrey Epstein damage control, here's what the President of the United States said.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit.
Bullshit and it's a hoax. Those are the exact words that he just used there. Of course, the Jeffrey Epstein situation is not bullshit or a hoax, right? There are thousands of girls who were sexually assaulted and abused while underage. That's not BS or a hoax. And that's not partisan, right? You can say that as a Democrat, you say that as a Republican, and certainly as the MAGA base, which has not let up on this issue tonight. And it comes as J.D. Vance appears to be taking on a central role when it comes to the Epstein investigation. Sources are telling CNN tonight that Vance's role is to essentially act as a middle person, a middleman between the warring factions inside the Trump administration, because there are warring factions over what to do with the Epstein files. On one side now, the Attorney General Pam Bondi. She now says there's nothing more to release. On the other end, FBI Director Kash Patel, who had long wanted transparency on Epstein.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Christians, get out and vote. Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again.
Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago, according to White House official. There it is. That's his blog. He said, President Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago and joined Chabad Lubavitch Synagogue in New York City, according to a high-level White House official. Mr. Goldberg says the story has allegedly been held by CNN's editors for months, but is due to be released within the next few days. David Elias Goldberg, a fellow at the Jewish Center of Anti-Semitic Study, has also interviewed the White House source. According to the source, Trump was pushed by his daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner to join the faith. At first, Trump resisted, stating it would threaten his base of evangelical Christian voters. However, he had a change of heart and officially converted in early 2017. The ceremony was held in private and closely guarded for nearly 2 years. It appears the White House is prepared to slowly release this information, and by summer, it is expected Trump will fully address his new faith in an evening televised news conference. This is so far out. This is so far out that I can't rule out that it's because he is clearly the most pro-Israel president in the history of America. He's given Israel every single thing that they've wanted, and he's about to give them war with Iran.
Now, I think it's obvious to most of you that since he is not releasing the Epstein files, obviously because he is implicated in those tapes. So it's because of this blackmail they have on him, which is why he does Israel's bidding, just like they have had on every president since LBJ. So you have to ask yourself if Epstein, who obviously worked for the Mossad, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, worked for the Mossad. He's the one that worked for the Mossad. He's the one that brought Epstein into the fold. It's pretty obvious why Donald Trump will do Israel's bidding. And if you're still confused about whose side he's on, you can see that back in 2017, he became Jewish. I wonder why most of you MAGA diehard didn't even know about that, because that was the design for you not to know. Another fact that you might want to know is that the original term MAGA has an occult meaning I'm going to tell you about after this clip. Now, for those of you who have never heard of the definition of the occult meaning of MAGA, I would suggest that you go to Stephen Bomar's The Occult Definition of MAGA on YouTube. His video is about 10 minutes long, and he does a very detailed job explaining how they use that term to conjure up certain things. It may be a little advanced for you, so you could just type in the occult meaning of MAGA and do your own research on it, but I highly recommend this video. Now that you can clearly see that both sides are corrupt, there's only one thing left to do, in my opinion.
I am William Wallace, and I see a whole army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You've come to fight as free men, and free men you are. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? Fight against that? No! We will run, and we will live. Aye. Fight and you may die. Run, and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.